Shall we then go on to talk about Calibre, a film of a different calibre entirely?
Yes, I feel we're setting ourselves up for some more rifle-based puns here.
This adaptation of the classic Namco beat 'em up. No, that's that's different spelling of Calibre, isn't it? This adaptation of the classic ebook management software.
King Arthur's sword before he got divorced from it. Oh, it's a different spelling also. My pun works in audio though. Yes, this film, which was 2018 Best British Film at the International Film Festival, has been picked up by Netflix and has been getting, from my sampling of the people what I do follow on Twitter, been rather successful. People have found it quite affecting. So the setup is fairly straightforward. There's this guy who lives in Edinburgh with his girlfriend who's recently found out she's pregnant. His name's Vaughn. His friend Marcus turns up and they've arranged to go deer hunting up in the Scottish Highlands. Now, a film like this often set up suggests that, it's portentous and stuff, but you know what? No, it's not. Vaughn's not particularly enthusiastic about leaving his pregnant girlfriend or wife, but other than that, yeah, they've been friends for a long time, they're going hunting. It's all good. They get up to this little village in the Highlands. It's not doing great financially, but it seems a reasonably friendly place. There's the typical idiot in the bar who's aggressive and jealous when some woman's talking to the new guy that comes in, but nothing that probably isn't real in every town in every country in the world.
It's not Deliverance.
So, yeah. It's not Deliverance, no. So it seems quite straightforward, and there's a few people maybe a bit on the nosy side, but at the same time, there's no particular malice. It's not set up in a way that it almost feels like you expect it to be. Yeah, so after having spent the night getting heavily drunk in the bar and one of the two friends having a bit of extracurricular fun with one of the locals, they go out hunting. Now, Vaughn, not so sure he can kill a deer, but gets a deer in his sights, hesitates for a moment, then just as he pulls the trigger, something goes horribly, horribly wrong. Now, I don't know if I should say what it is, because I'm not sure how clear the marketing materials make this. Scott, have you any idea? Did they tell you what happens?
No, but I mean, it happens like 20 minutes into the film, and it'll be very difficult to talk about the rest of it if you don't.
Yes, I suppose so. It's so early, yes. So, sadly for Vaughn, the deer moves its head right at the last moment, and just as he's pulling the trigger and the deer's moving its head, he sees a small boy standing a little distance behind the deer, but who had previously been obscured by the deer's head. And his bullet goes right through the boy's head. Yeah.
Which is contraindicated in most scenarios, yeah.
Yes, that's going to ruin your morning, though not as much as the kids, unfortunately. Vaughn there rushes over to the kid, rather distraught, drops his rifle next to the boy's body, and as you can imagine, is panicking a bit. He then hears the boy's father calling his name, searching for him. He stumbles upon the scene, takes the dead boy in his arms, and then, while Vaughn is just standing there sort of staring, not knowing what to do, the father picks up Vaughn's rifle that he's discarded. Yeah, this might not go so well. The distraught father starts to bring the rifle to bear on Vaughn, and then Vaughn's friend Marcus kills him. So, being upright citizens who want to explain this horrible tragedy that's happened, they hide the bodies, run away, pretend it wasn't them, and come back in the middle of the night and bury them. Things kind of go downhill from there. Well, they begin to find that the close-knit local community is vengeful, perhaps would be a good word. And that's just for the minor things, like the aforementioned extracurricular activities. So, if they find out what happened to these two people from the community, it's not going to end well for the two friends.
Spoilers. It doesn't.
It is. I'm not sure how much more to talk about this. I guess there's no particular mystery to it. It has trappings of a horror film. No music though, which I kind of appreciated. There was no score for it. But it has kind of the idea of horror films of like country folk turning on the outsiders and like that kind of tension, but it isn't. It's just a thriller. And quite a tense one at that, although I don't know, I didn't feel I didn't enjoy it as much as most other people seem to.
Yeah, I found the same, but I mean, I can recognise that it's doing a really good job of building tension. It is, I think, objectively speaking, it's a good film. but
Mm-hmm.
it's a good film in the way that you could appreciate elements or something of Morven and Collar. It's got the same critical flaws as that it's trying to make me buy into protagonists that I don't really want to see get away with it. And
Yeah.
if most films that have murderers as their protagonists tend not to be able to build a lot of sympathy for that character purely because of the whole murdering thing. And that's kind of what happened here.
That's part of it, yeah.
A lot of it is it's trying to build up tension, but at the end of the day, I actually want to see them get caught because justice and all that. So it always seems to be working a little bit at odds to itself when I was watching this. I still would say overall, I guess I enjoyed it. It's certainly a well put together bit of filmmaking, and if nothing else, it's two really good performances in the lead role. I did quite like both these guys, Jack Lowden and Martin McCann. I think they did quite a good sort of believable relationship and how that kind of falls apart over the course of it, and how you can be pushed to an extreme and then have to keep covering it up as they kind of do in this, and how you would kind of feel entrapped into doing the other guy's bidding and so on, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's quite well handled on a character basis. So I can certainly appreciate it in that aspect of it. It's just a bit strange that the way it's, how it's building tension is kind of at odds with how you'd want to see it resolved in the final instance as well. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, but I would say I enjoyed it quite a bit. But yeah, if it's the best British film of the year, not so sold in that one, but I couldn't offhand name something better than it.
They're not murderers. Well, I suppose Vaughn isn't anyway. It is an accident. It's a horrible, horrible accident you couldn't predict. And it wasn't like he wasn't taking any particular care of anything. Yeah. This boy had wandered off in the forest, happened to be in the same spot where they were hunting, and because he was further away than the deer, he was obscured by the deer's head, and it's a tragic accident.
Yeah.
You could possibly even argue that what happens next was Marcus thinking that he's protecting his friend because he saw the guy with the gun